name is Reese. Reese DeForest would be my proper name. Or no, not proper, my birth-given name, but I'm known as Reese International. And as we spoke of earlier, 30 years ago, riding through Atlanta, turned the corner, and on the glass, this is what I saw. Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Shop. I'm freaking out. Watched the window for 10 years. 30 years later, here we are. So come on in. This space was an original Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Shop from the 1940s. I stumbled onto it by accident 30 years ago when I was traveling as an international makeup artist and hairstylist. I had a salon in Atlanta, and in those days, there was a beauty publication called Essence Magazine. I used to do some of the makeup and the hair for the cover of Essence, but my salon in Atlanta kept me back and forth. Back from one of my trips, I'm in Atlanta riding around in my little convertible. I turn the corner, and on the glass, I look to my left, and I see Madam C.J. Walker on the glass. I slammed on my brakes, get out of the car, walked over to that glass window, and just started touching it. Purely out of respect. I watched that window for 10 years, back from any trip. I would come back, pay homage, keep going. On the 11th year, I needed a new location for my hair salon. I remember that window, so I came back. No one was here, so I went to the barber shop next door and asked him about this space. He said the Masons own the entire building. Go upstairs, check with the Masons. I go upstairs, check with the Masons. They say the space is available. I signed the lease right away. I'm excited. Coming down to clean up, to prepare Reese International inside a Walker Beauty Shop. I did not expect to find the vintage beauty tools left here by the last living agents to work here. I found out one was still alive. She was 91 years old. That's Mother Dot, the last living beauty agent, because they weren't called beauticians in that era. They were called beauty agents. She told me when she started, Mrs. Mother Dot. That's her neighborhood name. Her proper name is Dorothy Smart. She's showing me the tools in front of her. She said when she started doing hair here in the 1940s, the shampoo and press was 25 cents, these tools. She said the Negro women of the Civil Rights Movement would have been in here getting their hair done. I'm completely losing it. I said, I got to preserve this. I can't just operate a salon. 2 years into the lease, I'm preserving this history when a black woman comes to the door, sticks her head in, and tells me that the first black-owned radio station in America was upstairs over this beauty shop. It was called Word Radio. That's the origin of the slang term, word up, for you young folks, word. On the other side of that wall of vinyl was Dr. King's office. Dr. King would use WERD radio to coordinate logistics for the Civil Rights Movement, preach his message of nonviolence. So all of that black history was in this building. And I was fortunate enough to stumble onto it. And I've been preserving it now for about 25 years now. We've been preserving this history. During the Civil Rights era, in order to pay for the legal and hospital bills, these cans were passed out to women's organizations, churches, fraternal organizations, AKAs, any kind of organization that was in the black community. You would get the can, fill it up with money, turn it in. Once you turned it in, you got the I gave card. These are authentic, saying that you helped raise money to pay for all those images that you see of black people being hosed and all that hospital and legal fees. There was some costs associated with that, and people don't give thought as to, what happened to these people. How did they get out of jail? So there were a lot of methods, and this was one of the methods. So we have a whole collection of these I gave.
I'm hanging out with Mike today, and he bringing me into this place. I've been on the street many times, walked by this place many times, never knew that it existed. And then I get the pop quiz, y'all. Pop quiz. And try to figure out how many of these artists that I knew that were in any one of these black and white pictures. And I think I got how many so far?
You got 29.
29, and I was struggling. And I consider myself quite an astute music person. And I'm telling y'all, I realize I don't know jack. This is a rich library of history, not only music, but above us used to be Martin Luther King, where they used to meet, strategize. One thing that I found really remarkable is the sign that was posted. I don't know when that
Notice,
sign was posted,
1930.
but it was a notice to white people not to buy colored folks music. Now you know that had to be old school because that's all they do now is buy colored folks music, right? And then you have this sign right here that says, Negro police in Atlanta, please don't arrest white people. This right here is very disturbing, to be honest with you, because there was a concerted effort to stop black folks from progressing. But yet, when you think about this time when the music was out there, they were going to black shows and looking at black performances, but we had to go in the back door, around the corner, all of that stuff that, you know, artists today don't even ever have to deal with. But I want to read you what this says right now. This is profound. It says, notice, stop, help save the youth of America, don't buy Negro records. You understand that? Don't buy Negro records. It also says, if you don't want to serve Negroes in your place of business, then do not have Negro records on your jukebox or listen to Negro records on the radio. The screaming, idiotic words and the savage music of these records are undermining the morals of our white youth in America. Call the advertisers of the radio stations that play this type of music and complain to them. Don't let your children buy or listen to these Negro records. It's totally ridiculous. But this just goes to show you how evil this country, and I ain't even going to say used to be, because we still see the hatred that's still present. And for it to be in bold writing like this is astounding to me. It really is. It's shocking. But it shouldn't be, because I had a good friend that told me the only thing that's different about what used to be is the date on the calendar. Mm-hmm. That's it. Amazing. Coming in here makes you face what the reality was back in the day. Like, things changed a little bit because we got, you know, cars and we got a little money in the house. We got cell phones. It's the same. It's the same.
Keeping this place afloat for this long means that anyone else that comes in, it's your job, world, once you know this exists, to carry the torch even further and put it further out there. This foot soldier has done what this foot soldier has done. Chicago Mike has been a godsend. He stumbled in one day. Well, how did you come in here? I was just chilling. He was getting his hair cut next door.
And who did I bring in here and have a party with?
That's what I'm talking about. Individuals like that. Chicago Mike brought Kool and the Gang in to launch the champagne line. He drugged you in not knowing where you were going to come into this rich place. So it's doing what you can do. It's not all about finance. The National Park Service has worked out an arrangement with the Masons who own the building to reopen Dr. King's office the way it was in the 1960s, sometime close to the end of the year. So all those 4 million tourists will be hanging out on this corner right here, and I will be eternally grateful as they spill in the Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Shop and Word Studio.
Just amazing. Like, I never knew all of this rich history existed.